Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome. I'm SC, and this is Divine Talks, where we dive into and talk about all things spiritual and divine. Today, we're diving into the spiritual significance of negative self-talk, what it truly is and what it means for us, why it occurs and its purpose, and how to see it through a new perspective and ultimately overcome it. But before we dive in, as a friendly and loving reminder, please use your discernment and only take what resonates with you. Feel free to leave behind what doesn't. If something doesn't align with your heart and your inner knowing, that is perfectly okay. So get comfortable and settle in, take a deep breath, and let's begin. We've all experienced negative self-talk or heard in some form that you're not good enough, you always fail, or you'll never get it right. When we experience negative self-talk or hear that harsh inner critic, we can try to view it as the formation of a trouble bubble. And although we may hear it internally, it can feel very real because it may cause and surround us with heavy emotions like shame or embarrassment. But in truth, that negative voice is not who we are. Instead, it's just a passing bubble, a trouble bubble, that is just passing in your field. The struggles and inner conflicts are really temporary energetic structures that we create and naturally occur as a result of simply living this very, very human life. And just like bubbles in the air, they appear and float for a while, but eventually they inevitably pop. And although we may feel that it is our job to fix or destroy them, we are actually called to experience them and feel the emotions that arise, live through those, and await them out with patience until they dissolve, because they will eventually dissolve. We may try to force healing or try to fix it ourselves on command, but growth and healing is very organic in that it unfolds in its own time. So when we encounter these trouble bubbles, we can view them as an opportunity for awareness and patience, and not as an enemy that we must conquer. At the deepest spiritual level, the bubble doesn't actually exist. And although it feels very real, that's because it's designed to. Much like the scene in The Matrix where Neo is asked and tries to bend the spoon, the trouble bubbles are part of the illusion of life and created to help us grow in love, in faith, and in patience. And just as Neo realizes that there is no spoon, we're invited to realize that the bubble is only a teaching tool and not an ultimate reality. They're like symbolic challenges or like a spiritual puzzle that exists for our learning and not as an indicator or proof that something is wrong with us. Some trouble bubbles come from simple fears that we may have, or insecurity and doubt or feelings of lack, and these can sometimes dissolve quickly once we see them clearly for what they are. But sometimes other bubbles are created by deeper attachments like jealousy, pride, or a strong emotional charge. These bubbles can take more time to pop or disappear because there's more energy, so to speak, and is more deeply rooted. In any case, we have to be gentle with ourselves, and whether that bubble is made of light fear or a dense passion, it will inevitably pop. The most important tool for handling trouble bubbles is, and this may be frustrating to hear, is actually patience. Trying to hurry up and improve actually comes from judgment and in the belief that we are not good enough right now at this very moment. But impatience actually keeps the bubble intact because it adds more tension to the energy. And true transformation happens when you relax into the process. So don't measure yourself against an imagined and unattainable perfect version of who you should be, because the moment you judge yourself, you step out of a state of acceptance and love and prolong that pesky bubble's life. Patience and compassion allow the bubble to naturally dissolve, and it is actually far more effective than resistance ever could be. Even if you cannot manifest perfection outwardly, know and trust that you are already perfect at your core, and no inner critic or negative self-talk can change your essence because the self-critical voice is lying to you. So when you hear, "I'll never be good enough," just remind yourself, You're already whole in spirit, and that voice is just a part of the illusion and not your truth, because you are already whole and complete within. Instead of obsessing over silencing the critic and shutting out the negative self-talk, picture yourself calmly riding along the path of love, of truth and faith. Though the critic may try to shout at you from the side of the road, you remain centered, grounded, and are steadily moving forward. The goal is not speed, but trust in the journey. So don't measure your progress by how quiet the critic voice is, but instead measure it by how steadily you can keep moving in love, even with the critic's voice in the background. Please remember that you are not alone in facing this voice. We are all children of the infinite Creator and traveling home together, each at different speeds and at different places along the path, with your guides, your higher self, and the Creator all walking alongside you, with you. The negative voice may make you feel isolated, but the truth is that you are never alone. You are so deeply loved, and the negative self-talk is never the truth of who you are. It is simply a temporary trouble bubble that will inevitably dissolve. And with patience, compassion, and trust in the journey, you will rise above and move forward. When you can view negative self-talk as just a trouble bubble and not as your enemy, and as a temporary illusion designed to be seen and used as a teaching tool to serve your spiritual growth, you can simply watch and wait and have trust that it will naturally dissolve. Patience is the key. The critic may come and go, but it can't alter your essence, because in time every bubble pops, and what remains is the truth. That you are loved, you are worthy, and you are always whole. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this perspective helps you in some way on your unique spiritual path. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around for future videos covering more insightful topics to assist and empower you on your spiritual journey. Sending you so much peace and love. Until next time.